Why do some men appear strong on the outside, yet inside they're waging unseen wars? What truly shatters a man, the world around him, or the weight he carries in his mind? Why do we keep returning to the things that hurt us, even when we know they're harmful? If you're a man, you've likely walked this path without realizing how deeply it shapes you. In the next few minutes, you'll uncover a truth that has never been told. Picture a quiet evening in a town that never quite sleeps. The neon glow of the diner flickers like a warning sign, and the hum of the city's pulse feels like a distant drum. Alex, a mid-30s accountant, walks past the flickering sign, his shoulders squared, his face a mask of calm. He's the kind of man who can handle a crisis with a steady hand. Yet inside, he's wrestling with doubts that gnaw at him like a silent storm. He's seen the world's harsh edges, but the real battle is the one that never leaves his mind. Maya, a bookstore owner with a quiet strength, sits in the corner of the same diner, flipping through a worn journal. Her eyes are sharp, her thoughts deeper than the ink on the pages. She knows the weight of invisible burdens all too well. When Alex sits beside her, their conversation starts with small talk and quickly drifts to the unspoken struggles that define them both. There's an unspoken recognition in their shared silence, a feeling that they are not alone in their fight. A mysterious stranger enters the diner that night. His presence is subtle, yet his eyes seem to see beyond the surface. He speaks in riddles about the hidden connections that bind souls, hinting that the battles we fight are not just personal but part of a larger, cosmic dance. He whispers about soulmates, not just romantic partners, but mirrors that reflect our deepest truths. According to him, the secret occult meaning of soulmates lies in recognizing the duality of our existence, the visible strength and the invisible struggle. As the night deepens, Alex and Maya find themselves drawn to the stranger's words. They feel a surge of understanding, a dawning realization that the battles inside are not random, but part of a greater purpose. The stranger's final message is simple yet profound. Your true strength is measured by how you confront the darkness within, and your soulmate is the one who sees that darkness and stands with you. In that instant, a new path opens. Alex and Maya, guided by the stranger's cryptic wisdom, begin to confront the invisible wars that have long haunted them. They discover that the secret occult meaning of soulmates isn't about destiny or fate alone. It's about the courage to face the hidden parts of ourselves and the willingness to walk that path together. From the moment the stranger's words faded, Alex felt the weight of a silent storm settling behind his ribs. He had always believed that a man's silence was a shield, a way to keep the world at bay. Yet the quiet inside him had become a pressure cooker, a room where doubts and fears simmered until the walls cracked. He remembered the first time he had stopped crying in front of his teammates, choosing instead to swallow the ache and pretend the pain didn't exist. That choice had carved a hollow space that grew louder with every unspoken thought. The night they followed the stranger's cryptic map, Alex and Maya found themselves in a narrow corridor of the abandoned church, the air thick with dust and secrets. The corridor seemed to stretch into an endless void, a metaphorical hallway where the soul could be tested. Maya whispered, "It's like pushing your own spirit into a dark room and hoping it won't scream." Alex's breath caught. He had always thought silence equated to strength, but now he wondered if that strength was merely an illusion. He turned to Maya, his eyes reflecting the flickering torchlight. "When did I start doubting myself?" he asked, the question echoing off the stone walls. Maya's gaze softened. "I think it's when you realize that no one could truly understand the storm inside you." The words hung between them, a fragile bridge over the abyss of their fears. The stranger's cryptic wisdom had hinted at a hidden truth about the mind of men, a truth that many feared to confront. Alex felt the pull of that truth like a magnetic force, tugging him toward the center of the corridor where a stone altar awaited. He could almost hear the walls breathing, a subtle reminder that the mind is not a quiet place, but a battlefield of emotions, many of which men keep buried beneath layers of stoicism. He stepped onto the altar, and a chill ran through his bones. The altar was carved with symbols that seemed to pulse in the dim light, an ancient language of the psyche. Why do men fear failure more than suffering? Maya's voice was barely a whisper, but it resonated with the rhythm of his heart. Alex felt the question settle in the marrow of his bones, a weight that seemed both oppressive and necessary. The stranger had spoken of the secret occult meaning of soulmates as a courage to face hidden selves. In this moment, Alex realized that courage was not the absence of fear, but the willingness to confront it. The darkness around him was not an enemy, but a mirror reflecting his own unresolved questions. As the torch flickered, the corridor seemed to breathe, and Alex understood that the path forward was not about finding answers, but about embracing the mystery within himself and walking it with Maya by his side. The corridor's dim glow seemed to pulse in time with Alex's own heartbeat, each step echoing a question he had never voiced. He felt the weight of a silence that had been a companion for years, a quiet that settled over him like a second skin. It was not the walls that were heavy, but the unspoken emotions that clung to them. In the depths of the dark, a quiet truth emerged. The male brain was wired to solve, not to feel. It is a design that has kept him moving forward, but it also creates a chasm where feelings are left uncharted. When the flood of emotions breaks through, the mind, trained to seek answers, loses its footing. It is as if the mind's compass spins when the map is blank. That blankness is what truly consumes. It is not the external problem, but the internal silence that gnaws at the edges of the soul. The unspoken aches erode resilience like acid on stone. It is a slow, relentless erosion that can be more destructive than any failure or setback. The twist lies in redefining strength. Real masculine power does not come from bearing every burden in silence. It comes from the courage to name the hidden wounds that lie beneath. Acknowledging the quiet inside is an act of bravery, a refusal to let the silence dictate the narrative. Maya's presence felt like a quiet reassurance. She did not speak words that would drown the silence. Instead, she listened, her eyes reflecting the same shadowed corridor. Her steady breath matched Alex's, reminding him that vulnerability is not a weakness, but a shared human experience. At the corridor's midpoint, a cracked mirror leaned against the wall. It did not show a perfect reflection. It revealed fragments, smiles, tears, a flicker of fear. Alex stared at his own face and saw the silent scars he had carried all his life. He realized that the mirror was not a trap, but a mirror to his own psyche, a moment to confront the silence that had held him. He took a breath, the torch's flame flickering against his palm. In that brief pause, he whispered the words he had kept locked away for years. The sound was small, but it broke the barrier that had kept him isolated. The silence that had been his enemy began to dissolve, replaced by a quiet clarity that felt like a release. Together, Alex and Maya stepped forward, the corridor opening ahead of them. Their path was no longer defined by the darkness, but by the light they had brought into each other's lives. In the quiet that followed, they found a new kind of strength, one that thrives on honesty, not on the weight of unspoken words. The corridor behind them was no longer a silent prison, but a doorway to possibility. Alex and Maya walked side by side, their footsteps echoing a rhythm that felt both ordinary and profoundly new. They had left the darkness that had once defined them, and now the light they carried together illuminated a path that seemed to stretch into the horizon. Yet the journey was far from over. The true test lay ahead in the quiet spaces between their breaths, where the unspoken weight of their past still lingered like a shadow. As they entered a quieter room, a single question hung in the air, almost as if the walls themselves were listening. "What do you carry that no one knows?" Maya asked, her voice gentle but resonant. Alex paused, feeling the familiar tug of his own hidden burdens. He realized that the answer was not a confession but a recognition, an acknowledgement that everyone bears a private war, a silent struggle that never quite ends. The idea settled into the space between them, a shared secret that bound them in a new, fragile trust. They both knew that every man has his own invisible war. Some never win, and some only find peace by confronting the very battles that have haunted them. The conversation turned to that darker truth, to the quiet places where fear and doubt reside. Alex spoke of moments when he felt alone, when the weight of expectation seemed too heavy to bear. Maya listened, her eyes reflecting a calm that had been forged through her own trials. In that exchange, they discovered a common ground, the courage to admit vulnerability and the strength that follows. In the midst of their reflection, a quiet invitation emerged, as if the room itself whispered, "If this story touched you, keep walking." The message was simple yet profound, encouraging anyone who had heard their voices to stay on this path of self-discovery. The promise that there is so much more about the male psyche that is yet to be shared was a gentle reminder that learning never ends. It was a call to keep exploring, to keep questioning, and to keep listening to the quiet truths that shape our lives. The light that had guided them to the corridor now glimmered in the corners of the room, a subtle reminder that even the smallest spark can break the walls of isolation. Alex and Maya stepped forward, hand in hand, ready to face whatever came next. They carried not only the knowledge they had gained, but also the courage to confront the unseen battles that still lingered. Their journey continued, a testament to the power of honesty and the enduring strength found in the shared moments of truth.